Hello, everyone. This is Mike Bevilacqua, the Vice President of the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce, with another interview series with the Merrimack Valley Chamber Means Business program. Today, we have one of our great members, Giovanni, who's with the Salem Historical Tours. I know he does a lot more as well, so I'd like to introduce Giovanni to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. And my company is Salem Historical Tours in Salem, Massachusetts. We're also Haunted Footsteps Ghost Tours. So we do history tours and we also do ghost tours at night. And this entire area is not just Salem, but all the way up to the Merrimack Valley is incredibly rich in history. So we're some of the oldest parts of the country here.
Oh, we're so lucky to be living, in this area where all this history has been, and we're great that we're lucky to have people like you that can show us and teach us what's been going on down there as well. So thank you for doing this. I know we're going to be seeing some of the photos of what you do, some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about. You're going to be actually showing at the end of the presentation. But as we start off, we just want to learn about some of the things you do, some of the things you can offer people. So how, I'm going to let you get started, and I know you have a little bit of a presentation as well, so I'll let you take it underway.
Yeah, so we do tours, all sorts of tours. Everything is a walking tour. So we run 5 tours a day when we're operating. And then we have specialty tours as well. So we do a general history tour, which is about Salem and its 400-year history. And that involves the seaport, that involves Revolution. We have revolutionary history, famous people who've lived here, lots of different things that have happened here, inventors. Arguably, we are the start of the revolution. So that is one tour, and then we do a cemetery tour, which is all in the cemetery, talking about the people in there, all the carvings, the designs, what they mean, the symbolism. We do a ghost tour at 2:30, which is 1 hour long, but that's kind of a shortened version of our evening tour. And the evening tour is all about paranormal activity, murder, accidental death, and we go around to different sites throughout the city. And that's at night. So the 2:30 is during the day, but we do one at night as well, usually 8 o'clock. And we go around and people take pictures, people get stuff from time to time, and it's really freaky. We have some real hot spots that we go to. And then at 4 o'clock every day.
Do these tours happen? I'm sorry, after you.
No, go ahead. I couldn't hear you.
I was going to say, do these tours happen throughout the year, or are they only certain parts of the year?
Oh, yeah. This is usually, we are running weekends, and so Friday, Saturday, Sundays in January, February, March, in November and December. And we run daily every day, April 1 through October 31. So,
Okay.
So, and then the other tour I wanted to mention was the Witchcraft Tour, which we do, as everybody wants to come to Salem and find out what we did during the Salem Witchcraft Trials, which in a sense really should be called the Essex County Trials, because while we were the seat of power, we had the courthouse, we hanged the people here in Salem, like all the communities around this area throughout Essex County, including Andover. For every 2 people in Andover, 1 was involved in the witchcraft trials as an accuser or an accused. So, and we talk all about this, and we do mention some of these other cities as well. So we do a very comprehensive 90-minute tour at 4 o'clock on the witchcraft trials.
Sure. How long have you been, involved with this, the Salem Historical Tours and all these different tours as well?
I've been here about 9 years. Worked the first 3 as a guide for the woman who owned it, and then she was selling and I was buying. So I've owned it for about 6 years now. The company itself is the oldest professional walking tour in Salem. There have been people before us, but they've only been like 1 person. So we're the first company to start this in '97. We started with the ghost tours, then we started with the history tours in 2002. And we've just kind of grown every year since. So, so it's been a while. We have a lot of people on staff who, who are into the trials and into the history. We have teachers, we have performers, stand-up comedians, actors, and everybody is really into the history. And we give the guests a really good quality product for the price they pay.
So is this these tours pretty much for everybody? It sounds like anybody would be interested in this. It's not just for kids. It's not just for adults. Any age group would be interested in a tour like this, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. We always, the one caveat we always tell parents, because they'll ask us that about the ghost tour, and we're like, well, it's about accidental death and murder. So if you know your kid better than us, so is that okay with you? And half the time they're like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, my
Yeah.
kid's death and murder. Yeah, so. But yeah, but they are good for everybody. They are walking. There's not a whole lot of walking, so some people who may not be ambulatory, might not be best for them. If you have a walking issue or something, but we do have stools which we give out. So if people want to sit when we get to a stop, because there's not too many places to sit, so we try to accommodate as best we can. But there's a little moderate walking.
How long are the tours?
So they're all an hour except for the ghost tour and the witchcraft walk. Those are 90 minutes because there's just so much information. It's just really hard to just put it into an hour. So, and then yeah, but we do private tours for people. We've done some 2-hour tours. So we do school groups, we do corporate stuff, all of that. So if they wanted 2 hours and wanted to combine some tours, we do that too. We kind of do whatever the client wants to do on a private tour.
Oh, that's great. How do people get in contact with you? How do they learn more about the tours on their own as well?
So yeah, they can give us a call, 978-745-0666, or they can go to our website, which is Salem Historical Tours.com, and just go through the links. There's all of the tours are up there, a lot of information on them. You can book right through there as well. And we, like I said, run daily from through the summer and through the fall. But there's always, once we get into the winter months, we can always do tours by appointment too. So, but we just,
okay. So it's something for everyone then.
Yeah.
And we'll have your contact information in the comments section for people to learn more as well. But you mentioned some ghost tours. I'm just curious, what goes on in that? What's the freakiest thing you've ever seen there as well?
Wow, there's a few of them. So, I mean, just to start off with, in our own building, we're in a building that's 1805. It's a former custom house where they rented here. So we see things happen in here. And I have cameras, but I don't have a DVR set up to them. But my plan is to set up a DVR with it, so then review it and see what's really going on in here. But I have slept in the office a few times, like on Halloween when you can't really get home. So and nothing's ever happened to me while I've stayed here overnight. But during the day, you see things move. We had two guides were in here, and there was a metal ace of spades that flew off the shelf and almost hit one of the guides. And it's like, it flew 4 feet, and it's like, and we can't find it now, so we don't know where it went. The ghost took it, or nobody says they sold it. So there's freaky things like that just here in the office. We had a woman get caught in the bathroom, trapped in there for 45 minutes, and we couldn't get her out.
Wow.
And there's no lock on the door, so I don't know, explain that.
So how did it suck?
But then around the city, we go, like, there was a famous murder, 1830, the Gardner Pingree House. People get pictures there. We have about, oh my God, 5 pictures from there. Pictures of people in the windows, something that really looks like a person, not just like a matrixing type of thing. But it's, and then an image of an apparition around a bush that some people think's a guy, some people think's a woman. But then we go to other places like the Ropes Mansion, and the garden is completely active. We've gotten images in the house, on the side of the house. One picture we have is of a fire that looks like it's in the house. And almost that was my tour. I was going to call the police and the fire department. And then I realized it's not a fire. But we have a picture of what looks like a fire in the window. So it's just totally bizarre what's going on in some of these locations. So we can't
And
guarantee people are going to get a picture, but
you have the chance though. So that, I mean, these are the reasons you want to go on these tours, learn about the history, but also have a chance to experience a once in a lifetime situation like this. I mean, it sounds really cool to me. For people who haven't been to Salem during Halloween, I know a lot of people say it looks too busy, stuff like that, but why do they want to be there during Halloween? I mean, I'm sure you want to be there any time of the year. I love going to Salem myself, but if it's during Halloween, if it's during October, why would you tell them to go?
Well, Halloween, there's two seasons we have here. We have the whole year and then we have Halloween. Halloween is totally different than anything during the year because we don't have that crowd. But we do get maybe 120,000 people total in the city. There's only 43,000 that live here. And the atmosphere and the ambiance is incredible. People are dressed up in the street. They're walking around. There's buskers and they're all dressed up. It's just a, really kind of party atmosphere. Everyone, it's just really kind of a good feeling. People are just having fun, and the crowds are pretty tame too. These aren't, violent crowds or anything like that. They're just people who a little escapism, a little cosplay, and they're just having fun. And then, and there's events during the city during the Halloween as well in the city. There's, people, I mean, aside from the buskers who perform, there's actual organizations that put up, there's musicians around the city on stages and different things. So there's a lot of very fun things to do. So, and some people don't like the crowds and totally get that. So if that's not your scene, you come in September, you come in the summer, and then you won't have those crowds and you'll still get a really good feel about Salem.
Yeah. And the best thing about all this is it's our own backyard. You don't have to take a plane to get there. You don't have to drive hours and hours to get there. It's right there in your own backyard. So there's no reason not to go check it out. Now, Giovanni, I want you to tell everyone again the contact information. I know you have some photos to show us as well. Do you have anything to add before you show us those?
Yeah, well, I mean, again, the website, salemhistoricaltours.com, and phone number 978-745-0666. And as far as adding, we do have a gift shop as well. We have a gift shop online. So we have shirts, we have Salem souvenirs, we have some other unique things like motorcycle and bicycle pizza cutters. So it's like, well, we have this interesting stuff. We try to have stuff that others don't. We have books if you want to read on the trails. I'm sorry?
Sounds like it's worth checking out.
Yeah, absolutely worth checking out. So that's really about it. I mean, we're into giving people a good time and giving them a good value for their money.
And something for everyone, which is great. So did you want to show us some of the photos now of some of the stuff you were talking about, or did you want to talk about anything else before we go into those?
Sure. So, I mean, I have a few pictures I can show about about the Witchcraft Trials. So if I go, well, what are we seeing here? Well,
the logo.
That's the logo. And, how can I go to slideshow? Oh, here we go. So, perfect. Yeah. So, oh, there it is. It's going to go, I guess it goes on its own. So,
okay.
Learning as we go.
Yeah, this is the first slideshow we've had on the Chamber webinar series. So, thank you for being the guinea pig for this. So,
yeah. So I click go and it doesn't go. So there's the logo. Is that? Hopefully that is the right. It's not backwards either.
No, it shouldn't show up backwards on the thing. If you'd like, we could share some of the photos on the actual post when we do this as well.
Yeah, I think. So, Oh boy. So I just had to stop the share. So sorry.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
well, send us some of those as an email. We'll make sure to share them in the thing. But why don't you just tell us quickly about some of the photos you were going to show us, so then when people check them out, they'll know what they're looking at.
Sure. So this one, some of the photos I was going to show was on the Witchcraft Walk. So,
Okay.
we go around to different sites where things were. So one, of course, is the memorial. We go there, and the memorial, there's no bodies there. It's next to the cemetery, but that's where there's 20 benches, one for each of the victims during the witchcraft trials, and each bench has their name, the name of the victim, the date they died, and how they died, and everybody in the witchcraft trials was hanged. Nobody was burned. Nobody was dunked, and one guy was crushed to death. So
Wow.
yeah, it's still considered the most heinous punishment in the history of the trials. We
Sounds.
also, yeah, I know. I mean, I know some people I want to do it to, but the government won't let me. Um,
No comments.
no, but the other places we go to where the sheriff lived. His house is gone, but his the foundation part of it is still there, and he got caught torturing people in the basement a few times and reprimanded because they didn't believe in torture. So, but he
Yeah.
did it anyway. So, but we go to his uncle's house, which is the witch house, which is the last house with direct ties to the witchcraft trials that's still standing. So we go there, but that is the uncle and one of the judges during the trials. We go to Lappin Park. There's a Bewitched statue there, so they filmed Bewitched here in
Oh, pretty
Salem.
cool.
And they only filmed about 6 to 8 episodes. Everyone argues how many, but the statue stands on the property of Judge John Hathorne. Judge John Hathorne was signed a lot of the warrants to execute a lot of the witches, and now a witch sits on his property, so which is kind of ironic. And John Hathorne is the great great grandfather of Nathaniel Hawthorne, the writer of the Scarlet Letter and the House of the Seven Gables. So, so a lot of interesting history kind of intertwining. And then,
It sounds more and more interesting as you go on. I could listen to you talk about it all day. So
yeah, it's really a lot of great stories, a lot of great information. We go to other locations too, the site where the guy was pressed to death. So there's just tons of great stories here in Salem. And like I said, aside from the witchcraft, I mean, there's just the seaport. We were once probably the largest seaport in the United States in terms of wealth per capita, I think is the way they say it. So, but yeah,
sure.
so it's just
Well,
insane what Salem has gone through.
the last thing I'll ask you is how has being a member of the Merrimack Valley Chamber benefited you and your business? I know you've been a member for a couple of years now, so just want to ask that.
Yeah, it's been great. We've had some people coming down. Attending the events is good. Some of the events have been at like historic locations up in Andover. So, the Stevens Estate for one, which is an incredible house, incredible location, the country club, and just, it's kind of cool when I know what was where back in the 1600s, and then you're there and it's something else, but you're like, well, this is where so and so lived. This is where this happened. And that's kind of cool. We walk over history all the time. I did it as a kid and I didn't know any of this. And now as an adult, I'm like, well, this is pretty cool. So, but the
Yeah,
whole area rich in history.
definitely. Well, I want to thank you again for being a part of the show today. We appreciate it, and I apologize for the technical difficulties. But like I said, we'll make sure we get those photos shared to
Yeah.
the on the sites. But no, thank you very much. There's a lot of history, like you said. I mean, it dates back forever, and you're able to share that all to us with great experiences, great tours, and like I said, the best thing is it's right in your backyard. You don't have to take a flight to it. You don't have to drive hours to it. It's right there. It's for every age group. You, your kids, your uncles, your aunts, your grandparents, they're all going to love it. So make sure to check it out. Giovanni, thank you. Got anything to add to close the show?
No, that's great. Thank you so much for having me on. And yeah, and just everyone come see us. Come see us this summer.
Very good. Well, take care, Giovanni. Thank
You
you all
too.
for joining us for another edition of the Merrimack Valley Chamber Means Business YouTube series, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Thank you.